Okay. Welcome, investors, punters, dribblers, and traders. Another big bear day. Not unexpected after yesterday's painting of the tape. We welcome to the glorious Madavi, Meta, Johnny, and we got Volatility Radar here today joining us. He of that wonderful tab that you've come up with there, mate, explaining volatility, which is very handy in today's market. So another big down day. The Dow was down big again. The Nasdaq was down big. Nasdaq down more than most. I think this is the first down day in 4 days, I think. But interesting as far as a lot of optionality goes, if you were short dated and far away, it was actually difficult to make money, which gives you an understanding of what's going on. They're ramming this market back at the end of each session. So, quick overview. It's a short one today. We actually got a track meet I've got to go to later on. Oil is rocketing higher after the close. We're up a good $1.50 on WTI. Nasdaq and SPOOs are pretty much the same around settle. And we're seeing vol pretty much the same. We see natural gas. Remember, that trades a lot around what the weather's doing. So that will gap up or down on this depending on that. Though early morning, this does tend to trade with Europe, even though it's unrelated. Quick look at SPOOs. So I first want to look at the Dow Jones. You can see the Dow Jones is at the low of... I don't trade this. We just look at this kind of like Bitcoin. But this megaphone, if it gets outside of it, then you want to test this lower line down here. As far as the SPOOs today, it wasn't an easy one. We did a few SPOOs trades off this, just purely off the grid. But you can see today, if we come over today, this sell-off was nicely over 8/8, but it was difficult to really do any... there wasn't... So I looked for three reasons to stand out. We just did this downtrend. That was pretty well it. As far as... We actually had SPOOs puts, or SPY puts. They actually were up money all day until this. So that's what's going on today. You see that? It's a difficult one to trade. Outside of your strategy, right? So that's why you have a strategy of shorts. But if your short-term stuff can be difficult, let me look at that S&P daily. So this is what made it hard, right? So for me personally, when I saw the close under the Tenkan daily, I kept put short, which I still have. And at the end of the day, you can see they managed to get it above that. Remember what these things are showing is where people's positions are. So so that's why you trade the options, futures, etc. Okay, let's look at Nasdaq real quick. Do you want to walk us through that, Madami?
Which part? Sorry about that.
Oh, the Nasdaq. So I was explaining. Well, that bounced more dramatically than mine, actually.
I mean, the Nasdaq it was all over the place, it was not doing, it was a couple of constant rips, but throughout the day, I was just getting beat up on it. So I kind of put away the Nasdaq and went over there to SPOOs because it just wouldn't, it would just do the opposite, then it would come back, and it was just really volatile. And for me to track today, especially I was trying to play catch up. So I was going with a little bit of size, and it was just too much for that type of size for this type of day. Because it was not going like you usually see it. It rushes down 100 points.
It was difficult to trade, I thought, today.
And it was kind of beating me up. So, I did a couple of trades on them, but I got beat up in the morning. In the afternoon, I did some okay trades. But then I used it as a hedge for the S&P. So if I get stuck in a bad S&P, I would go long the NQs.
Right, yeah. So I think I mentioned earlier, what I went to hedge in case we broke up was I did some Apple calls versus the SPY's puts. At the end of the day, the Apple calls we lost on, and then the puts right at the end of the day closed basically where we're in at. So what you're seeing, if you look at that, it's a very disconnected market. And when we look at the afternight, the session here, you can see what's going on when we look at those stocks. So overall, that's why I have a strategy. So this kind of noise, you'll lose money if you try to day trade it. So overall,
products in Russia.
Yeah. So what we made money on was that. Well, let's go through that. Let me look at oil real quick because I don't have a lot of time. But wow, have a look at this. 107. So this is the Brent. You got excited there. You all thought it was WTI, didn't you? So we're moving up to these highs again in the earlier session on the 240. Pop over to the equivalent on WTI. So the thing I want you to notice is when WTI broke up the other night, it just got to 100. Brent got to 105. Let's go back, right? See that? So WTI has closed that gap by $5, $6, sorry. So that's why, Johnny, why we're doing really good on our US positions, right? And who are we selling? What was our big short that actually I stuffed up and got out of was BP. But because their deal with over there in Russia, Rosneft, etc. So you can see this is coming down, and can you really see it there? So here you can see what's happening on oil. Do we all see that okay? So what's happening on oil is that it's coming back viciously, so it's keeping vol up really high. These are $3 bars on oil. So how I've been trading this is from the long side. Once it breaks up, it gets to my levels, plus 4H. You can see it took profit. I didn't actually short futures, but what I did was sell a lot of the energy companies and shorted them. So to profit on long, short, trade them from the short side, like Oxy, people like that. We actually did a trade on Alcoa. It was a really nice short today, but I did get out too early. Remember that, Madavi? Because I was like, and I didn't even do big or anything. So it's a very difficult market, even those that we've been around a bit. So this is a real market where the dribblers who know everything about everything, remember, they finally buy into these things and get whacked. Here's soybeans. Look at this reversal today. Who was the other one? Someone talked about corn. Look at corn. This is just tearing people apart. So this was 630, and now we're 726. So yesterday, it traded up to 720, down to 620. I do not trade this. It's purely an observation. And now we are at 726. So be careful if you take notice of any of these people that don't actually trade these things, right? I can't say that enough. As far as crypto, Johnny, look at that. Ethereum, 29.48. Look at this is still hanging in here. 43. So again, new gold versus old gold, I guess. I like my black gold. I like that one.
XST.
That's gold, mate. It's gold. It's black gold's oil. What part of the world are you from? Oh,
Texas
California. California. Oh, you
said
exactly. My neighbours look like that. No, I'm joking. What were we looking for? Gold. Where the heck's gold? So gold, another big day. It didn't. Look at what it does. Those who don't believe in Ichimoku, bang. And Murray Math or Nova Wave, plus 2H, tested bloody tanking and flop. Now, I didn't do anything here. Madavi, I know you're still long. We were just so busy in what we actually trade today. So this, as far as swings goes, this is still a swing off here, remember? Very, very close to a break. Anything you'd like to, as I said, volatility radars here. So anything you want to share with what you're seeing on volatility, mate? And welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'd like to just pop in what I'm looking at. The VVIX is hanging out low on the daily compared to some of the previous pops that you've seen.
Let me put
It
that
is
in
currently
here
at
for you.
132.
There we go.
And
So, hang on. There we go. Wow, that's a volatile little VIX. Yeah, that's a good indicator, and that pretty well sums up my puts today on S&P. Up big, gave it all back in the last session. Remember, they're just basically, I have them as my Black Death. Is that what they call it? The plague. But yeah, so do you want me to pull up a daily for you here?
yeah, do the daily, and you're going to notice this isn't really acting in step with the VIX yet, which makes me believe there might be a little more pain coming in the near future on overall volatility.
Yeah, I mean, the way, looking at that oil, the VIX at 107 and WTI at 106 right now, and all those commodities we just looked at, there's some, I mean, how'd you like to be Jerome Powell right now, right? You've got Biden talking tonight. Lord knows what he'll talk about. And then you got Powell, obviously inflation situation, and then this angst in the market. I mean, that's a big, big number. And if we look at where we are, actually, you know, when I look at this, the market doesn't seem as fear. Look at this, where it got to in, when is that? January?
Yeah.
So this spike here, is it? Yeah, it's January 172, and we're still just at 132. What was this? Was that one of our tech wrecks or something? What
That
happened?
was the last fall spike that went to
What would
40.
cause that though? Was that that's the start of the year when the markets collapsed on interest rates. Yep. That's when the 10-year I think had its first run at 2, right? That's what that was.
No, that was the previous spike, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit
Oh,
to the
this
left
one.
there.
What was
Yeah.
this one then?
That was that, what was that?
Start of the year.
Correction?
Which one?
The correction? I guess it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what caused it. This is Ukraine, all this. This is 2-year. This is every other second COVID thing over here.
Kind of like the beginning of Ukraine.
It
almost.
could have been. Yeah, it could have been. But yeah, that's interesting. Thanks. That explained, when I looked at that, I need to watch this more during the day. What was the banking index we traded today, Madavi? Can't even remember. So, does anyone remember? Is Madavi there? Trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, what's up?
What was the banking one we traded today?
FAZ.
FAZ, yeah. So this is, sorry, I was in so much positions today, I can't remember. So this is the 3 triple bear on banking. So we did a JP Morgan short today, and which worked out pretty well, obviously. But as Madavi made a good point, why are you spending so much capital when this existed? Well, I didn't know where it existed. Where is this? Where is this thing?
Easy.
I'm trying to get it. I did a daily. It shows you how low it is. So I guess it's so low because of let me get it. Maybe we can find it in 45 minutes.
Oh.
Nope. We traded around 21. So if we go on this, sorry, I'm not. We're usually on Sierra charts. I guess I should have done it on that. So here we go. This is daily. So you can see the spike on this. So this was down at Because at the end of the year, this is when everyone's buying banks because of interest rates. Well, the market doesn't believe this is a bear market, clearly. All the dribblers out there, right? So they're all buying this down at 16. This is the trade we did today. I'm going to try and get this on a 3-minute. There we go. So what the trade we did today was just 30-cent scalps, but effectively, right? So you can say with all the banking stocks, this is run from the start, from yesterday, this ran from 19.5 to 21.60. So these things are good hedges, but these are triple short. That means if you're wrong, you don't want to play in these unless you've got the capital or you know what you're doing, basically, right? Very fast. And it's trading at 21.60 after hours. It looks like, Madavi.
Yeah.
So
that's a mover and shaker, man.
Yeah. These aren't for the faint-hearted. Okay, let's look at the damage we did to ourselves after hours. So Nordstrom.
FAS2. So there's FAS and there's the FA.
Oh, that's the buy one. Let's go through the extra trade. So SoFi, we did after hours. They had earnings. So what we did on this was, let me look what I actually did. So we shorted this around here. 12, it's got to be here. This is a 30-second chart. So we shorted this rally after the hours. Then I noticed, I guess we're here. Is this where we are? Yeah, so we shorted this, I think. 12.58. Then I noticed there was a big offer. Listen to this. This is a difference. This is understand what goes on the market maker box. So I saw a big offer there of
this is a difference in your Apple Music library.
Marking it all the way down. So that made Madavi and I cover in here. It's here, right? Yeah. Because they told you that they're accumulating, and that's an old trick. They'll show size and they offer to push it down weekly. Obviously, we should have bought it. So we took like an 18-cent profit. You can see it's just dribbled up. Right, all the way up so far. So that tells you there's accumulation buying it. This is one of the this is a dribbler favorite right here. So that's that trade. Not too much, about 20, a little bit more size attached to that because it is a dribbler. The one that we got in a little bit of trouble on is this one, Nordstrom. So Nordstrom.
Starting to come in now.
Yeah. So, sort of.
I got it at 27.
Yeah, you just want to show off, Johnny. But
I waited.
What's wrong with this chart? It's daily. That'd explain that one. So let's bring a 3-minute chart up. So this one came out with earnings. They were better than expected. They actually made more money and sold more, and it was all to do with rack space, which I'm informed that's where we're going to be shopping at after this position. What it is. So to give you an idea how fast this gapped up, so it was 1950. They came up with earnings. I went to sell this at 24.5. We got filled at 25, and it just kept going up. And then it hit our second. So this is recalc. This was plus 2.8. If I show you on Sierra charts, it was on here, right? It was on here. So this is got to this. This was plus 2.8. It's recalced. So it's not a big position. Break even is, where's my break even?
Speak for yourself, not a big position.
Yeah. I've only had a small one on this one. You do have a bit more size on this. So I just stick to my oil and gas. There is a reason when I do like to short this. This isn't really a dribbler. This is a investor's stock, I would say. JWN, would that be a fair comment?
I don't know. If you asked me before the pandemic, yeah. Afterwards, not so much.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. So my strategy on this now is I will be keeping a small short. And when I say, I'm saying it relative to what I normally am. We don't talk about size and stuff. So just keep that in mind. So I will be looking to sell puts against this tomorrow when it opens up and work its way back down here. Guidance was lower. Was guidance lower in this one or as SoFi? SoFi had weaker guidance. Okay, the other main stock I did today, which I spoke about, I traded this for the last 3 days, was Mullen. Let's go through what I've been doing here. This has just been a great trader. And I try to explain as cryptically as I can on... I'm not going to give financial advice, end of story, but we do try to guide. We've been too many dribblers and we've kind of banned them from the room with just nonsense. It's going to go... So, yes, I did notice from blokes I respect, told me this was a lot of buying going on this a few days ago. And I knew from hedge fund boys that I know that are big shorts, I took a lot in. You can see the volume here. This is massive volume. So I went long with this as I shared in our room. We got out of this yesterday on the long. I got out of this early, remember, Johnny? Could have held it, sold here, had a little bit left here. Then after hours yesterday, I noticed that I shorted it a few times. Then after hours, they did a secondary. We put that out actually on Twitter, just the link. If you know what they do, you don't know an explanation. I could not short this after the close yesterday. Today, I pull it up. Remember this, mate? I went, are you kidding me? And this went over $2 pre-market. Ridiculous. So you can bet your bottom dollar that there was millions of shares of this thing sold short. Millions. By guys that know what they're doing. This is the dribblers non-stop in this. Oh, it's going to go up. Oh, the market's so short. Oh, they're so stupid. Oh, okay. Boom. As soon as the market opened up, I sold whatever I could on the offer at here at 175, 176. Remember that one? Immediately went down here like a fool because we had so much on. I covered half the position in here and we ran the rest to here. Well, that was because Lucent was going up, right? Is that why I covered that? But look what it did. It got all the way down to 80. Now, this is what it should have done. That the secondary was for 280 million shares. So, I mean, what do you think's going to happen? This is a company that only went up. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. There was some news in here of batteries, better stuff on their batteries. That's what this was about. That's right. So there was reasons, I guess, if you don't look at the fact that they're broke and all these dribblers are caught. This was a SPAC at $10. So anyway, this was a classic dribbler play. So just want to share that with you. We wanted to share the SoFi, why we did that trade and how. And then, what was the other? And the JWN isn't quite working out. But you can see why. So, obviously, we were just didn't want to buy this. We just knew to cover the short. So, obviously... Huh?
First Solar.
Oh, yeah, FSLR. Let me put that up.
I'm out of it now, but I made a little bit of money.
I like that comment. Neutrum almost pump and dump status. You're not wrong. First Solar. FSLR, you traded this, right?
Yeah. I got a little bit of it, and I don't know what did I get around 66, 70, I think, and I got out.
So First Solar had earnings as well. That's I didn't look at their profits, but here's the reaction. It was at 8.8. It fell all the way down here to 2.8. Oh, wow, it got even lower. It got down to 62. 08. Yeah. So that's a full grid. So that was actually a buy if you got it. If you missed the sell, got into buy territory there.
No, I got it 67. I got it out of the lows over there.
I thought you sold it and bought it.
No, I sold it. I didn't buy it back.
Oh, okay. So you're up a couple. Okay, I got you. And here's AMC, which we didn't trade, but you want to dribble a special? This is more a Wall Street bet special with a touch. Actually, a lot of the dribblers hate this. They're all going to get caught on this, right? Anyway, do you like my dribbler voice?
Freaking hilarious.
Nope, I look like it's going to run. I just bought some.
Oh, you finally gave in and bought it, huh? So that's pretty well it. It's going to be a real short one. I've actually got a track meet today, north of Houston, up at Woodlands. Anything else we want to look at real quickly, guys? No? Nothing?
That's it.
Here's UUU. Let's have a look at that. That had another strong day. I know. We should go VR. VR sounds good for volatility radar. Virtual reality, right? I'm sharp today, see. Look at these are long bars here. 838, we settled, but see, this isn't a bad trading one. This is UUU. If it gets above this cloud, it can really run. Look at this. What I don't like, I'd like to see this gap filled a lot longer in the piece. So. Okay.
What is that one?
That's UUU out of your uranium stocks. That's the only one I've actually traded, is this one. This time around.
4 U's or 3 U's?
4.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah, today was a nice little breather day.
What was the other one you liked?
UEC. UEC. Not too much action on that, but it's still up.
I just use URA right now.
URA?
Yeah.
That's the index, right? The ETF? URA, not UR.
UROI is also another one, but I don't know what they did.
So here's URA. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the ETF, I believe. So they all got a similar pattern. So if I walked you through quickly how I traded the oil stocks and that. So what happens is those that aren't, so we all know, and we're all very tired of the dribbler that gets on Twitter or bloody TV or whatever, that all of us, they're experts about everything. So what these people, once those guys start talking about things like uranium, so VR, you've been in this since down here, right? So he watches it, and it's kind of like Madavi on gold. All of a sudden, it hits the we should have a dribbler index. It probably is one. So they're all talking about it up here. Like, I couldn't believe some of the prices. And I knew on AA today, and remember I shorted it, Madavi? Yeah. Nothing real big, and I'm like, but it fell immediately, like, so I thought, I'm a legend. As you do, then it comes flying back in your face. So I only made like 80 cents. If I had stayed with that fell like $5, right? So because the reason is, they're the ones buying it. The trouble is, it's easier said than done. Like I said, I should have held if I show that real quick. So that's the same thing here. This got up to $25, it looks like, today. And then it closed down here at 24.07. So these are good opportunities to take profit. But you can be like...
Yeah, I'm looking at the weekly on this one.
What's the weekly look like? So that's another thing if you're trading or invest. Oh, the weekly got right to the Cajun. That was a good sell, actually. Look at that. So when you see that sort of thing, usually it's going to take a breath. But you can see in these really volatile commodity stocks, it can get real volatile around it. But you know, Cajun is telling you where the balance is on this. So that's why that sold off 25. You can see that, right? And it supports down here at 22. That's weekly. So let's look at AA.
USO.
I want to look at...
USO just came out with some news.
Well, USO is oil, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, do you want me to tell you the news? Didn't we just talk about it? Let's say $106 altogether and 34 cents on WTI. Anyway, this is AA. So yesterday, I've had this for a while. It's one of my swings. I took profit on this yesterday, as I shared in the room, and feeling good about myself, right? Actually, it was 80 pre-market, I want to think. It came down to 72 and it opened up all the way up here. So I shorted it at 85 on all this. Look where we are, plus 2.8. I don't do anything without a strategy. But I was nervous because, I wouldn't say nervous, but Didn't want to go too big. And then so the dribblers, when they get in these, can make silly things happen. This is aluminium or aluminum, basically. So I got out, and look where it closed, mate. Damn. I sold over 85. Covered 84.5. And it went down to 75 by the look of it. And now we're back to 79. So this is a good trading stock. And a good punter stock. In the sense, it's very fast, but you're trading basically aluminium futures. There were all these metal futures. A lot of them have been limited up lately. All the ag futures were limited up. So just beware of that when you're trading this stuff. They're fast, and you've got to have a strategy. And so JWN, before we go, because I got to love you and leave you. JWN, let's have another look before we go. So what we've been watching is Mullen. I actually tried to sell, there was dollar puts on this. I tried to sell them at 35 cents. I never got lifted. They were at the market. I think the bid was 30. I thought that was a good play. Obviously high vol, we like to do that. Didn't get lifted. That was a strategy there. SoFi, third. What was the one I just said? Oh, JWN, yeah. Here we are, JWN. Still up here, 26.78. So, again, remember, you're not always going to be perfect on these trades, people. But so when you're not, that's why you trade accordingly. You even sell on resistance, and these sort of things that you're actually holding rather than stopping out immediately, it's because they provide you've got this gap, and you know you're going to have optionality in this tomorrow. There's a lot of I've been in this actually the wrong way before, remember? When I was long once, it gap down, someone downgraded the next day. And how I managed out of that position was I sold a bunch of at-the-money calls, actually. And all covered. They're all covered calls. I didn't oversell them. So, and does a lot of funds still have Nordstrom in there? I wouldn't think so.
No.
I think you might be right. This is all a dribbler situation for a lot of it. I don't know what the heck that is. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I meant to hit this one. So, anything else before we... I got to take that dreaded I-45. Anyone that's lived in Houston, you know what I'm talking about. 4:15 traffic on the I-45.
More SoFi.
So, you're doing SoFi. So, we're leaving you at 106.30. 459 natty. Well, if that gets above here, let me show you something on natty real quick. See what we're trying to do? We need to get above this Tenkan. Then you got Cajun. That's a lot of resistance. But you get above this becomes 1, 2, the more bullish scenario, right? That's natural gas. So it's all dependent on those weather models that come out tomorrow morning. Really. So there we have it. Thanks everyone for joining us. Madavi, Johnny, and Volatility Radar in the house. And thanks for all his great work he's done. He has, as I mentioned yesterday, he's developed all that himself, and so make sure you follow on Twitter. It's Volatility Radar, isn't it? The Twitter handle.
That's it.
And also has his own newsletter now, which is excellent. So make sure you subscribe to that. Like and subscribe to our podcast. You can follow us at Twitter on what is our bloody Twitter? Traders.com, right? and all the other people that take part in the community. Commodity Vol. So what's Commodity Vol's actually Twitter handle? I keep telling him to have a small one. Commodity. There you go. Commodity Imp Vol. So it's Commodity Implied Volume is the website, but it's Commodity IMPVOL. So he's very takes part in a lot of the stuff we do in oil and gas, which you'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow is the EIA number for oil. Thursday is natural gas EIA. We have the good old OPEC out this week. We have President of the US doing his, State of the Union address tonight. What else we got watching? Powell is coming out, Jerome Powell, I believe that's tomorrow. But the big thing is the jobs number on Friday. But you've got all this other stuff going on with oil prices and all that sort of stuff. Wars. Is there any good news? Oh, the most important news, the NRL season kicks off for sports lovers this weekend in Sydney. If you're not following the Roosters, then you will be banned. And what else?
Baseball got delayed.
Yeah, baseball got delayed because they were going to watch rugby league. Anyway, on that note, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a great night. Good luck. Trade size accordingly in these sort of markets. They're very volatile. Even crap like JWN is going up 30% despite what's going on. So that tells you a lot of the short stuff that's going on as well. Okay, see you guys.